Hey guys, welcome to Alizia Wanders. I am here today in Rabat, Morocco, filming in the capital. I am in the city center. We have a bunch of old buildings and mostly where all the administration happens and where people hang out. I'm gonna help you discover the city of Rabat, Morocco. Come along and let's see what's here. Okay guys, we are in the city center of Rabat, Morocco, surrounded by the countries of Spain, Algeria, Tunisia, and Mauritania. It has a population of about 580,000 people and is a metropolitan. So Rabat City, my first impressions coming here is that it was a really lively city. They had a bunch of books out on the streets that really interested me. They had a bunch of movie theaters, parks, outdoor dining areas, and it just kind of has like a modern feel, which is a really easy way to get into exploring Morocco. They have still very old buildings from the 12th century and a lot of contemporary art museums that really show a time frame of old masters and contemporary artists, which also makes Rabat unique. They also have traditional crafts, so it's a really good balance between ancient Moroccan tradition and modern age in the capital, which has a lot of administration going on, which affects the rest of Morocco. Alright guys, I'm here at RABAT-VILLE train station in the center of Rabat, Morocco. You can catch trains through different cities here, and there's a TGV, which could take you all the way to the north in just an hour or two. Super cool, they got cafes in there. Tickets are not too bad, and it is one of the fastest trains in the entire world. Guys, we are here at the tram in the city center of Rabat-VILLE. You can catch these trams to other cities in Rabat for about 6 dirhams, which is about 60 cents. The service is really good, frequent, and clean. Guys, so we're at the tram station. This is where we get our tickets at Mohammad V out of the Rabat. So here you can either buy it from a person for like 6 dirhams. You could just give him your change and he'll give you a ticket. Or we could also go to an automated machine. Let me show you what it looks like because there are about 3 different languages on there. So let's go take a look at that. Alright guys, we're here at the tram. It looks like they have a line and a map. It starts at Leerfen, where they have a lot of the universities. You can tell by these little scholarly hats. And the tram line goes all the way through to Sele, which is more of an old city, rich in history and kind of more of a town, but it's still pretty famous. But you could ride this entire line, and if you are here for a while, you can also get a ticket for the month, and here are the prices here. Alright, let's go try buying a ticket. So if you want to use the automated machine, you just put your dirhams here, and there's an English flag here, so that would help you pick the English language. Let's do that. I don't have a card, I'm gonna buy a ticket. Boom. As you can see, it's 6 dirhams. Or I can get 2 for 12 if I want to go back and forth. These tickets don't expire, by the way, until you actually check them into the machine. So let's say I'm gonna go back and forth, that's 12 dirhams. Let me put those in there. Boom. And then my ticket would come out along with the receipt. I'm here at it's a Catholic church and it's still pretty active. And then to my right is the main police station. So if you have issues like overstaying your visa as a tourist or any other issues, you can come to this police station. It's a major landmark and you can pretty much hang out in this plaza and it's pretty chill. Well, Rabat, it's a pretty relaxed city. It has like a lot of old features that I really like. Some of the cobblestone roads, you can see the trams running through it. You have a mixture of people pedaling on bicycles, foot, car. And the roads are pretty wide. It's really nice to see like the social culture. It's really actually pretty obvious here. Like a lot of people, they're outdoor people. That's one thing. Maybe the weather permits for that. It's pretty warm all year, maybe 9 months out of the 12. It's pretty warm here. So it's no big surprise that people like being outside a lot. As you can see around you, people are just walking on these very wide streets. They could be going to a number of places. But one thing you'll notice is that the people here are polychronic, which means that there's always time to do something while you're going to do something else. For example, you could be going to an appointment, and on the way there you might run into like 2 or 3 different friends. There's always time to go say hi to them, have a coffee, and do other things before the appointment. So if people aren't always on time here, don't worry about it. It's a normal thing, and you probably just want to check in and double check on plans. It's way more relaxed and flexible. I like Rabat like the way I like other cosmopolitan cities, in that it has like a large literary culture, it has like a large artistic culture, it has a lot of history, a lot of handcrafts. Rabat is also central, but there's also a lot of other cities that stem out of Rabat, in which you can get more insights into either agriculture or really handmade stuff. Also just towns where there's mostly families, so you can just see how they're living. One cool thing about Rabat that I really liked and it stood out to me was that Rabat is mostly flat. So it's very walkable and everything is really close to you. Anything, if you're in the center, you can walk to anything in 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes tops. And you have access to cafes, foods, theaters, restaurants, shops, things like that. It's a very walkable city. It's also a very bikeable city, just because it's very flat. And that's something that I did notice about Rabat, opposed to like other cities in Morocco that I really liked. If it's not winter time, bring a good pair of walking sandals. You want to be comfortable. You want to walk the city. You want to explore. You can be out on your feet all day walking around Rabat. The last thing you want is blisters and stuff making you uncomfortable when you still want to go explore different areas. So bring a good pair of shoes or a good pair of sneakers. Pack lightly. You don't need much to come here. Wear relaxed clothing. You can be a little bit modest, I guess, in your clothing. Maybe like I'm just wearing a t-shirt, some pants, and some slippers. There's no need for foreigners to wear like a hijab or traditional clothing. I think most people here understand that you're not from Morocco. They don't expect you to wear the traditional clothing. If you want to, just to experience it, you can. But people here are pretty modern. Shop around. There's a lot of good deals or a lot of good, beautiful things in Rabat. You're gonna meet a lot of wonderful craftspeople, but just enjoy. You have leisure, check it all out. You're always free to come back. Don't feel the pressure to buy everything all at once, even though you want to. Come to Rabat to work. It's an excellent choice because it is the administrative capital. Culture or friends start out in Rabat, which is pretty cool. But if you're an expat or venturing out from what you normally would do, like hang out in the Medina or the city center, and venture out into places where people live, where you can see an authentic and organic culture. Not to say that Rabat itself doesn't have an authentic culture, but that it is a lot of the business going on. People going to work, people going to cafes and stuff like that. I would venture out more into like the areas in which people live, where the agricultural spots are, and probably nearby towns and cities where there is no administrative building. I'm from Oakland, California. I would definitely say Rabat is pretty safe. I always hear people telling me like, oh, well, you might come into like the wrong neighborhood and stuff like that. But coming from Oakland, I definitely feel that Rabat is super safe. So maybe at 12 a.m., 1 a.m., 2 a.m., and I've had no problems whatsoever. During COVID, I think it is a little bit different because you don't get like a lot of tourism going on. But I found it to be actually quite refreshing. Not a lot of tourists. I mean, you don't get like the super crowded streets. It's not so saturated with people. It's a lot easier to get by. It's a lot easier to catch a taxi, a tram, navigate the Medina, navigate shopping, just because it's not so saturated. I think it gives you access to the city that would normally take you maybe a little bit longer, just because you are waiting in lines of people and tourists with COVID going on. That being said, you still do need to wear a mask. These are definitely available here, and they're always good to carry around. They're pretty strict actually. So like walking down the streets, there are guards and police officers making sure that you are wearing a mask. But that's just to keep COVID cases low. So there is a curfew in Rabat right now because of COVID-19. And so the curfew, everyone must be home at 9 p.m. That means businesses start to close maybe around 6 or 7. Some cafes might close around 9, but things close pretty early. You can get vaccinated here. There are a number of vaccines available at local clinics. Whether you're vaccinated or not, you still have to carry around a mask and you still have to be indoors by 9 p.m. Grab a juice or a coffee, read your book, study, whatever you want to do. Really excellent place to just hang out with a lot of shade, especially on a hot day. And it's right outside the Contemporary Art Museum. This museum is one of the most important museums in Morocco because it has a lot of contemporary artists, a lot of modern works, and it's just so fresh. And they've got a cafe there as well. If you're into coffee like me, best place to go. Okay, so here are some like the permanent statues outside the Modern Contemporary Art Museum. Pretty cool. I think they're made of iron. What kind of exhibitions they have right now? So you have Moroccan painters, national Moroccan painters, contemporary, and you have some of the more traditional works. It's a pretty cool little antique shop. I wonder what these are made of though. I think a lot of them are like silver. I don't know, I like the ones with like the balls and the sprinkles on there. Those are really cool. Like old traditional Alizia designs, and some are kind of modern contemporary. A lot of gems, maybe carnelians, garnets, turquoise, agates, opals. Pretty cool stuff. Bones, teapots, silver teapots, new teapots, old teapots. Wow. Pretty rad. Okay. French tea sets, Moroccan tea sets, clay masks. I could tell the difference between like the silverware. You could tell like by the designs. Also because the material is different. So like a lot of the Moroccan ones will either be made of brass or steel or silver. And a lot of the French tea sets are made out of porcelain and glass. Oh yeah. شكرا هادي.
300.
300. Okay. Okay. Shukran. Those are pretty nice. Silver, that one's turquoise. So it's about 300 dirhams, maybe 35 bucks. It's pretty cool. Rabat Morocco. It is pretty quiet, pretty administrative. You get banks, you get small coffee shops, quiet houses. Not a lot of restaurants, but you have a few good ones around here. I would say if you plan on moving here for a long time and you like quiet areas, this might be a place that you want to consider living. The rent in Hassan is a little bit higher than in other neighborhoods. You'd probably start out at a studio, which is pretty generous. Maybe about 3,000 dirhams, which is like roughly 350 bucks. It's not unusual to pay about 600, 700,000, over 1,000 bucks to live in Hassan. So as a tourist, you'd probably want to come to Hassan to see the mausoleum. Okay, so here is the mausoleum of King Mohammad V. Super cool building, beautiful, but closed because of COVID, unfortunately. Let's get closer. Let's get closer to the building. Magnificent architecture though. A lot of geometry, a lot of detail. Hey guys, I'm at the Hassan Tower. This thing stands at 44 meters high and was built in 1199 by the Almohad Caliphate, the third caliphate at that time. It is the largest minaret, and had the entire mosque been completed, it would have been the largest mosque in the entire world. But they stopped construction. Along with the mausoleum of Mohammad V, this area is a large historical site and many tourists come here every year. Due to COVID, it has been closed for over a year now, but hopefully they'll open it soon. This is the monument though, and normally if you could come in, you'd be able to see all the nuances of this architecture of the 12th century. Okay, so that's the minaret, and here's the mausoleum. It has 348 pillars. And there goes the mausoleum over there of King Mohammad V. Normally, again, if it was not COVID, we'd be able to walk in between these pillars and check out the nuances of this 12th century architecture. Hopefully they open up soon, but for now, we can only take a peek from the outside. People read books, people have a bunch of entertainment, you have street performers around this area. Oh wow, we have our very own Moroccan Charlie Chaplin. Oh, theater? Wow. Yeah, so you have like a lot of street food Rabat Morocco, new entrepreneurs. You get a lot of cool cafes where people are drinking coffee, meeting after work, getting pastries, having dinner, meeting after school. Maybe even what some people would consider tea time in other countries. You get that all going around the center. People shopping for a bunch of things. Shoes, watches, clothes, food, cookies. You name it, that's what people are shopping for. You're definitely in the city center. You get like a bunch of old colonial style buildings from the French era. For the most part, Moroccan people are friendly. It's easy to make friends. People are curious. If you know languages though, that will always help you. If you know how to speak Darija, the Arabic dialect that they speak in Morocco. Some people say that Darija is like Fusha, which is the Arabic language, but compressed. Like if you speak it and you just mush it together and speak it like a lot more fast, then that's what you get in Darija. All them from the little that I know. If you know other languages, French in particular, that will really help you in Rabat. A lot of people also do speak English and some people do speak Spanish. A lot of people speak a lot of different languages here. I would say that that is one of the strengths of Moroccan people. They are polyglots. With Moroccan women, you probably want to join a club. Maybe you want to meet them in Facebook groups. Maybe you would meet them in some kind of class or a workshop. For English speaker, you might want to check like English speakers in Rabat, expats living in Rabat, Spanish people out there, Españoles in Morroco. So you can put them into the search engine. Put these names into the search engine. You can join the group. Ask the administrator to admit you into the group. Usually they'll ask you a question as to why you want to join the group. And yeah, you can start networking that way, meeting with people, and finding out what you can do. I made a few Moroccan friends here through a number of things. Sometimes I met them by coincidence, just by trying to go equal things that I need and find that they start speaking English, and I've made friends that way. I've made friends through taking language classes. I've made friends through English speakers in Morocco. I've met and I've had coffee and tea with women. I've gone shopping and have made friends doing that, surfing. I think that people are pretty open-minded, including myself, because I think it goes both ways. I think you can be a curious person, definitely welcome. As long as you ask respectfully and with genuine curiosity, I think there's no problem. That's the beauty of traveling, right? We get to ask each other questions, we get to experience different cultures, and we get to sometimes come to understandings and even disagreements. And that just enriches everyone. Alright guys, well that's our trip of Rabat Morocco. If you like this video, please hit the like button. I hope this video has helped you discover Rabat and navigate